Another week, another top auction. Today, I'm going to be bringing you this week's most expensive storage unit in the country. I'm also going to update you on that 5x15 that was full of luxury items. Did it sell? What did it sell for? Make sure you watch till the end of the video when I give you an update on that. All right, enough of the intro. Let's jump in. Today we're going to be going to Glendale, California for a 10x30. You might be asking yourself, is that a Maserati? Yes. Yes, it is. We have a bunch of photos on this auction listing. I do find it interesting that it is a lien unit, which means it's still in that really weird gray area of transferring ownership from the previous owner to you. And it looks like someone is inside of the unit. I'm not quite sure about California, but I do know a few other states. The facility is not supposed to enter that unit. Those items do not belong to them, and it's actually kind of trespassing. Awkward. Let's look at more of these photos. I think they have the VIN number here. Let's hope so we can look this up, find out whether or not it's stolen. Well, it was last registered in California in February of 2023. The registration is up on this guy, but at least we know it's got the license plates. Aha! There she is. There's the VIN. Let's see what we can find out on this vehicle. A quick tip for those sellers out there, or anyone that's curious about a vehicle, if you head over to ncib.org, you can do 5 VIN number searches every 24 hours on the same IP address. Just pop the VIN in there. It's totally free. It'll let you know whether or not this vehicle is stolen. Okay, so after entering the VIN number that has been provided to us, it does not come up as being flagged for being stolen or a complete loss, a write-off from an insurance company. So those are two great things. The VIN number lists it as being a 2013 Maserati GranTurismo 4.7 liter. It's listed as having 454 horsepower. I'm not even going to pretend I know whether or not that's correct, but I'm sure those of you who are watching can verify that. Scrolling through all of the photos here, the vehicle's interior appears to be in pretty good shape. Of course, we're not going to know the mileage on this vehicle, and we're also probably not going to have the keys to it. The exterior looks pretty good as well. It's a little dusty. If the registration is any indication, this car's been sitting in there for a little bit. The windows, of course, are down, so you're going to have dust in the interior and everything else that comes with it. But I mean, come on, it's a Maserati. So I popped the year. Of course, we do not know how much mileage is on this vehicle, but let's see, we have a used one with 54,000 miles at $39,999, a used at 14,000 miles, and that one's currently for sale for $41,500. That kind of gives you a general idea as to how much this car is worth. You can take into account the interior's condition, the exterior condition, and maybe make a guess as to how many miles are on this thing. And if you're super duper interested, you can always pay for a Carfax report. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be buying this vehicle, but if someone is in the California area and you might be thinking about bidding on this, I would suggest it. This facility has also provided pictures of all of the personal effects that are outside of the car. So let's scroll through those photos, see if we can find anything cool. Of course, this briefcase is conveniently open. We can see an Apple laptop, some wires, a few other electronics in there. Here we have a Ducati leather racing suit. Those are pretty expensive if you buy them new. Looks like you can pick up a used one anywhere from $200 to $500. There's a really interesting looking backpack down here. I'm going to take a closer look at that. I took a screenshot of this and I did pop it into a Google image search. It looks like it's a Naruto Gara backpack. Those will run you anywhere from $30 to $50 used. Over in the corner we have a Dainese box. I did have to look up the pronunciation on that one. Hopefully I nailed it. On top of another box, it looks like we have an Apple Watch, a G-Shock watch, some glasses, and thread. There might be some luxury clothing, or it could be your run-of-the-mill Kohl's. I mean, after you're spending all that money on a car and Apple products, you know, who knows, you might have to wear a Van Heusen tie. Okay, so let's talk about it. We're going to take a step back and look at the big picture here. You're getting a Maserati and a pair of pants with some suspenders, an Apple laptop, potentially an Apple Watch, and some other personal effects. All for the current low price of $17,550. There are 8 days left on this auction. I know. Typically, I keep it to 7 and under, so I'm able to update you next week. Perhaps I'll post my video on Tuesday instead of Monday so I can let you know how much this sold for. The car having a value of anywhere from, let's say, $2,000. I mean, it could be completely toast. All the way up to $40,000, $50,000, depending on how many miles. It's really hard to put an end price on this auction. People who are interested, of course, they're going to be running this VIN number and paying for some kind of checks on this. So those people are going to have a better idea of what the mileage is on this vehicle and the condition, actually. So I'm going to throw out a price of $31,000. That's where I think it's going to end at if it does in fact sell. I will, of course, update you next week. I will watch this auction like a hawk so you don't have to. That's the whole beauty of this series. So now it's that part of the video where I update you on last week's featured auction. Just to refresh your memory, it was a 5x15 in Port Washington, New York. It had Gucci, Prada, Fendi, Balenciaga, Cartier, Jordans, Apple products. There was so many luxury items inside of this unit. When we left it, it was at $12,800. My guess was that it was going to sell for $16,400 because for some reason I decided to be oddly specific that day. Well, I was very wrong. It did sell, and it sold for $33,010. Now, that's a spicy meatball, and I really hope all of that stuff was in fact real. So I really hope that I see you next time, and until then, be kind to each other. Bye.